Hi, I'm Jane Velez-Mitchell, and I am here with our mascot, Foxy, and I'm very delighted today to be, of course, joined by my co-host, Donnie Moss, and his companion, Max. There you go, Max. We have two fabulous guests today, Miles Shane, who is a noted producer, as well as Naomi Hiltz, who is a noted director. Naomi, why don't I start with you? You have an incredible project that is a working title, I guess you might say, is Farming Humans. What exactly are you going to do?
We want to show people how farm animals are treated on a daily basis. So what we want to do is we want to put people in cages for 10 days, and we want to do 12 volunteers and have 3 different groups. So have 4 people be treated as cows, 4 people as pigs, and 4 people as chickens for 10 days. And they're not going to undergo all the horrors that the animals go through, but a lot of them.
What's the goal? What are you trying to show the viewers?
We're trying to show through humans, so human viewers, so to speak, can try to relate a little bit more, try to empathize with the animals. We're hoping to show people how horrible conditions are for animals on farms.
People have to know what's going on to these what's happening to these barn animals. Let's put human beings in that same situation and get people to emphasize, to feel for these people, so ultimately we can stop the torture of farm animals and hopefully one day stop the eating of animals completely.
Donnie Moss, I think it's a great idea to trade places, as it were, and allow people to understand what, for example, being in a gestation crate, unable to turn around, feels like. In fact, the Humane Society has created a human gestation crate and does demonstrations on street corners and shows people what it's like to stay in for 4 minutes, much less for months on end.
Turning the tables, Jane, and giving us a taste of our own medicine is really a provocative approach. But as Naomi pointed out, they can replicate the confinement and they can replicate what it would be like to live in your own excrement. But what they can't do in a movie like this is perform the kinds of mutilations that animals on factory farms experience, like being castrated and being branded and having their beaks seared off.
Yeah, so even when you put human beings into these horrific conditions, you could only really replicate, I would say, 40% or 30% or 20% of the horror, because ultimately, Naomi, the human beings aren't going to be slaughtered either. They're not going to be put in a truck and taken to slaughter.
No, definitely not. They're going to be unable to move, unable to sit down half the time. They're going to be stuck next to their fellow animals/volunteers without really being able to move a lot. Very little sunlight. The food is not going to be gourmet. The bathrooms will be in the same spot that they sleep in,
now,
if they can sit
You've
down.
Gotten people who have agreed to do this?
We have had so many people that have agreed to do it.
They said to us, the people who want to volunteer, they said, you know what, we get to go home, the animals don't.
This documentary isn't really going to show that many animals. It's really obviously representing animals. It'll have a little bit, in order to explain what we're doing, but it's really, showing the people. And we get to know the people a little bit.
I think people will watch this documentary because we're going to get to know these characters so well, these people so well, and their families so well before we put these people in cages. And once they're in cages, the audience is going to care about them, and they're going to cry, and it's going to be tough for them to see what's happening to them. And we hope that ultimately they'll make that connection with animals, because we're going to...
Jane, we see undercover footage taken in factory farms of pigs in gestation crates chewing on their bars and bleeding because they go insane from the intensive confinement. They don't speak English, and the only way they can communicate is by doing that. It'll be interesting to see in Farming Humans what the threshold is of the people who are kept intensively confined in these cages. They're going to be able to say, "Get me the hell out of here."
I want to wish you the very best on your project. Keep us updated. JaneOnShane.com for the very latest.